Homeschooling isn't always picture perfect. Welcome to Homeschooling with Dr. B, where we'll help you find solutions to the challenges you face and celebrate your successes with you. Now, please welcome your host, Dr. B.
Welcome, my delicious homeschool tribe. Today I'm going to be talking about our homeschool classroom. Now, one of the things that I learned quickly when we started homeschooling was that I really needed to get myself organized. Now, to be honest with you, I just have that kind of personality. I like things to be organized, things to be in their place. And since by then we were living in Florida, I had access to my best friend as far as a homeschool room, which is Ikea. I absolutely love Ikea for our homeschool room. In fact, if you're seeing the background in my YouTube channel, you can see our little Ikea sofa, our little table. I'll also post some pictures of our classroom here in Florida and the classroom that we have in the Caribbean. So my favorite organizing system is a shelf unit from Ikea called Kallax. Kallax. And it's my favorite because it's not a standard bookshelf that when you put the books in, starts bowing in the middle. I really hope you're on our homeschool YouTube channel so you can see the units that I'm going to be showing you. So when you look at the Kallax, what you're going to find is that it's very versatile. You can stand it vertically or horizontally. So if you look here, I'm showing you the Kallax. And if you see this picture on the right-hand corner, you can see how well it fits into a room. Additionally, the other nice thing about the Kallax is that you can buy little drawers to put in it, or you can buy cubes. You can fit odd-shaped books and games. Definitely, in the earlier years, we had lots and lots of games. And we still have quite a few in our Caribbean home. So very nice. The other part that I really like about the Kallax, even though I don't use it in my classroom, is that it comes in different colors. You know, you can go with the standard white, which is what I like because I add color to other pieces of furniture, posters. But you could also do it in black, brown, or gray and wood. There's this high gloss gray I've used in the past. There's the wood looking one and green for those of you who are more adventurous. But as I said, I tend to go for the standard color, which is white. I like my homeschool room primarily white. The Kallax also comes in different sizes. It's not just 2 rows. You can get a single, like here, or you can get a rows of 3. So it's 1, 2, or 3, depending on your needs, depending on the room, or you can combine them. I've done that a lot as well, depending on my needs and depending on the room. The cubes also come in different colors, and I love these cubes, or boxes is what they call them at Ikea. Just really love them to get away some of the messier stuff like magnetic cubes or paint bottles, depending on what the situation calls for. I like to keep a neat house. I try. Right now we're in an awfully small space, so that's quite a challenge for me. But I try. What can I tell you? You can also put magazine holders in the Kallax, which really makes it wonderful. When we're in the Caribbean, we don't have access to a good library. So I ordered quite a few magazines, Natural Geographic, The Economist. So these magazine organizers are really neat. They help me keep everything together. And you can buy cheap ones. They're made out of cardboard. They don't last very long, maybe a year or 2. You also have the option of plastic or metal. And of course, there are a few colorful options nowadays. So I really, really like the versatility of the K-Log from IKEA. The other thing that I like to shop for in IKEA are desks. We're definitely a desk family. Not everybody who homeschooled likes desks. And in fact, when we started, when it was just the twin girls, we usually homeschooled on a table. But what I found was that in the case of Andy, who has ADHD on the severe range, it was too much of a distraction to be on the table. So what we began doing was we began providing her with her own desk. Now, originally we went with the small mic desk, which is lovely, as you can see right here. It's a small desk with a little drawer, just enough room for her to have that private space. So the mic desk just provided enough room for her to have her privacy and be able to work without having the distractions of her sister being on the same table as her. So it worked really well. I do not like IKEA chairs. I buy all of my chairs through Amazon, typically. You can get some pretty good deals. The IKEA chairs were just too uncomfortable. So after buying the first set there, we just decided it wasn't worth it. What we saved was just not worth the discomfort. So the small mic is how we started. And then eventually we moved up to the bigger mic desk. And the nice thing about the bigger mic desk is that not only does it have two drawers, but it has a side, and you can see that on the website, where your kids can store larger books or bigger things. My kids really, really like the mic desk. Now, in this room that's so small, we've kind of had to modify our expectations of what we could do. And we do have a mic desk for one of our girls, but for the other two, we have mic corner desks. And that was definitely different for us. We had never gone that route. And I will show you. Here's the mic desk. And yes, we prefer it in white. It's worked out really well. It really allows us to maximize a very small space. For myself, because I do 2 blogs, 2 podcasts, and I homeschool, and I have to take care of my household chores, I have a larger mic desk. The most extended version of it, here it is. And again, I prefer it in white, but that's just who I am. I like to have room to grade papers if that's what I'm doing, or to create lessons. I like to be able to expand myself and to have my computer. Now, when I started working in my husband's business, he got me hooked on having 2 monitors. So nowadays, I just don't know how to live without them. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm multitasking. I will teach the kids. I might leave what I'm working on up and then go on and work on the blog or the podcast in the same room while the kids are working. And it allows me to turn around and help them whenever they need help and make sure that they're staying on track, give them the breaks that they need. I have one daughter that would like to cram everything into the day. I have other ones that want to spend way too much time on breaks. So, balancing those things out, balancing the needs of the 4 kids. And here is this wonderful picture with this lovely combination of a mic desk and K-Lug unit organizer. This is just absolutely my favorite way to do our classrooms. I began using IKEA almost as soon as we started homeschooling, just because of their versatility. The other thing about IKEA is that it's not very expensive and it lasts for a long, long time. Usually the only way that we end up having to replace furniture is when we move. Furniture from Ikea does not travel well, at least not this furniture, because it's not even compressed particle board. It's more like laminated paper. It's not very heavy, and that also means that I can move it around anytime that I want to. And I often move it around more than my children would like me to, but I just cannot seem to be able to help myself. Here's another picture of this wonderful K-Log mic combination. So just really neat options for creating a homeschool space with IKEA furniture. Now, something else you may like is if you decide you have a very small space to work with, you can opt for a K-Log workstation. And you can see a picture of one of the bigger workstations here, which has a table that you can attach to the K-Log itself and bring it out as you need to. This does provide a really nice workspace because it allows you to work on larger projects such as art projects or science projects, and then you can neatly put it away. We have had it in the past, and it worked very, very well for our kids. Now, do you need to set up a classroom? The reality is you don't. If you're the kind of family that can work on the living room, on the coffee table, or you're the kind of family that can work on the dinner table or even on the kitchen island, more power to you. It really didn't work for us. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that my daughter has ADHD. She really needed to be able to disconnect from the rest of the house and have a room where she knew when she was in it that she had to concentrate on her schoolwork. That really helps her to focus. And she knows this space is her workspace. We tried working on the dinner table. It was an absolute dismal disaster for us. She just truly could not focus. And frankly, when she can't focus, no one else can focus because she is up and down and interrupting, just very, very impulsive. So it makes it impossible for the rest of her siblings to get their work done. So the K-Log workstation is a very nice option as well. There is a smaller version, as you can see right here. That didn't work very well for us, but that's because right now there's 4 kids. It worked a lot better when it was only 2. So it really depends on how many kids you have working together and what their specific work needs are. You can opt for an IKEA table. We've had one like this in the past where I would put it in the center of the classroom. And when we worked together, we all came together, like to do art or to do science. But again, that was a lot easier when my kids, when it was just the twins and they were in the same grade. Now I have 3 13-year-olds that are in the same grade, but I have a 5-year-old that doesn't have ADHD, but he has the energy of a 5-year-old and can be very disruptive. So having them in a communal table does not currently work as well for us as it has in the past. But again, the nice thing about IKEA is it's inexpensive and it's versatile. And if you end up breaking something when you're moving it, that's when I've broken something. It's relatively inexpensive to replace, at least a lot more so than other furniture that I've attempted to purchase for our homeschool room. IKEA does have a very nice line of bookcases. It's called the Billy. Very inexpensive, very durable. We have one that's gone from Michigan to Florida to the Caribbean, and this thing is still going. But despite the fact that you can move the bookshelves, I don't love it as much as I do the K-Log because it's not as sturdy. It's like a typical bookshelf But if you prefer something slimmer, definitely the Billy is for you. And you can see here some of the pictures of how nice of a system you can have. They even make one for corners to allow you to maximize your space. And what I find, or what my experience has been, is that most homeschoolers have to figure out a way to maximize their space, because we don't typically purchase or rent a home with the idea that we're going to be homeschooling or that we're going to be doing it long term. I thought I was going to be doing it for 3 years, and 5 years later, I'm still going. So definitely lots of versatility and incredible prices at Ikea. They can help your life become a lot easier while you're homeschooling. There's a lot of other items that you can find at Ikea that are relatively inexpensive. When you go to the kitchen section, there's a lot of things there that you can purchase for your science experiments. I love Target. I'm a Target shopper, but don't want to pay $25 for a bowl and then have my kids use it in one of their slimy experiments. But I'm okay paying $3 for 3 bowls at Ikea and having them ruin it by the end of the year. So Ikea gives you the ability to think outside the box, to be creative, and not spend a lot of money while doing it. If you Google school in Ikea, you're also going to find some neat little things, such as construction packets that are very inexpensive, little whiteboards, little notice boards, and definitely some nice watercolors, crayons, a lot cheaper than you will find them anyplace else, and even some inexpensive rugs to throw on your floor to protect it from your kids and your kids' experiments and art projects. At least mine were very artsy and very science-y oriented. So here are some of the options that you can consider from Ikea. And as you can tell, they're very, very neat and very inexpensive. I think another thing that I really like at Ikea is called the Alex. It's a drawer unit system. You can find it in different sizes, as you can see right on this picture. So there's the small ones. I've used several to organize myself and organize supplies, and they come in just as handy as the rest of the furniture I've discussed earlier. So I hope you found this video helpful. I have always found Ikea to be my homeschool's best friend. I hope you do too. So remember, life can be overwhelming, but homeschooling doesn't have to be. Join our sometimes challenging but always rewarding homeschool journey by subscribing to our podcast, blog, or YouTube channel. For links and resources, please visit our website. Till next week, enjoy your kiddos.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Homeschooling with Dr. B. Head over to homeschoolingwithdrb.com for more information and resources. That's homeschoolingwithdrb.com. Until next time.